See, FP said something yesterday. I listened to him and Guru. And FP's right. You can't treat baseball like football in terms of you're not going to live or die off of one game. It's 162, obviously. You give yourself heart attacks. You're going to need Pepto-Bismol. You're going to need everything to get through a baseball season if you approach it like that. I don't think we do. I know I don't, but just looking at where the team is at right now as they're 3 games under 500, and they're going to go play Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers tomorrow, defending World Series champions. It's just where the franchise is at right now. You hope that, hey, maybe yesterday was a turning point. Maybe. But I do have my concerns because the bullpen has thrown the second most innings in all of baseball, and that's before they had to record 16 outs yesterday. And when I say 16 outs, that's the 9th inning, 8th inning, 7th inning, 6th inning, 5th inning. He had to come into the 4th inning. I mean, you're not going to have long-term success doing that, playing like that.
No. I would just say to FP that, number one, no one is treating baseball like football. But number two, we're not reacting to a game or even a series or even a month. It's been closer to a decade than it's been to even just a couple of years. You know what I mean? This has been 6 years of blah, followed by the 2 years prior of blah. So, no, I don't think that's fair. I think the reactions that you're seeing from Giants fans isn't just one game, one series, or even 1 month. I think it's close to a decade of frustration. And if you can't acknowledge that, well, then I think you're not paying attention. Because when I look at the 49ers situation and why the Niners were down so bad, it wasn't because of a game that they lost to the LA Rams in week 17 with Jim Tomsula. You know what it was? It was the totality of multiple seasons of the way it went down with Harbaugh and the way it went down when you moved out of the city. And it was a variety of it's never one thing. And even in football where we lose our minds, at some point, and I remember this with the 49ers, at some point, even in football, the customer just tunes you out.
Yep.
I remember when the Niner games were an afterthought for people in 2016, 2017, 2015, afterthought. And then Jimmy Garoppolo showed up after they started 0-9. Just remember where you were at. A lot of people don't even really remember anything pre-Jimmy Garoppolo. There's just a gap. So
no, I think people remember, and I think people. I would give people credit. They remember from what happened once Mariucci got fired to what happened up until Jim Harbaugh got hired. Those were some dark days for the 49ers. You couldn't give away free tickets. My guy Igor Spivak worked at Candlestick Park. Him and Victor, they were working at the turnstiles where they take your tickets in the old Candlestick.
Yeah.
And they'll hit me up. They tell you, man, you want to come to the game today? I wouldn't go out there.
Yeah.
It's I'm not doing it.
I used to go to all those games and there'd be no one there.
Nobody there. I was not going to those games. I'm going to watch at home. I'm not going. This is a terrible product. I'm not going to waste my time to get frustrated. Took my little brother Bernard to his first ever game, and it was against Peyton Manning and the coach, and it was Alex Smith's first start in his NFL career. I think he threw 4 or 5 picks that day.
I think it was 5 picks.
He threw
I think it was 1 for 11 or something.
I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
Kevin Barlow dropped the pass, and that was the end of him. Frank Gore came in. I mean, it was bad. And then even Levi Stadium, once Tom Sula kind of ran the team into the ground, and then Chip Kelly took it another step. I was out there for Eddie DeBartolo Senior's day. It was Eddie Bartolo Senior Day. What were they doing? Retiring his name? Something happened, and they were playing the New England Patriots. And it started raining. And it's kind of a microcosm of what was going on with the Niners. And everybody just ducked for cover. And nobody was really watching the halftime ceremony for Eddie DeBartolo. They were playing the New England Patriots. And it was a sad state of affairs. Dwight Clark, when he got honored at halftime, it was the last time we see Dwight Clark on that video board at Levi Stadium.
That was sad.
They were playing the Dallas Cowboys. And they got roasted 40-10. So, yes, there were some dark, dark days. But it takes waiting to get you back.
Well, but I think that's the thing is when I look at anger in a fan base, everyone's Matt's no, anger means you care. Apathy means it sucks. That when fans stop caring at all, that's when you have problems. When I think about why Harbaugh resonated and everything, I think about that New Orleans Saints playoff game and what that meant to Niner fans. it wasn't just that game. Wouldn't you agree? It was the 10 years of frustration baked in to that moment.
And I also think it wasn't just that game that got us all hyped up. The lead up to that game.
Yes.
Think about what they did in week 3 that season. All right? Actually, week 4. So they split the first 2 games at Candlestick, Harbaugh's first year. They played the Seahawks, and then they lose to the Cowboys in overtime. Take it, Junior has the 2 punt returns against the Seahawks. They lose to the Cowboys the next week when Harbaugh probably should have not taken a penalty, got a first down instead of and taking the 3 off the board to run more clock off. Anyway, they go to Cincinnati, they win 13-8. Nobody really believed. I remember in the locker room that year, after they beat Cincinnati 13-8 in Cincinnati, week 3 of that season, Harbaugh's first year with the 49ers.
Kendall Hunter some big runs in that fourth quarter.
And Harbaugh did the, who's got it better than us? And Arizona, nobody believed. And then they were down 23-3 against the Philadelphia Eagles in week number 4. And all of a sudden they come back and rally and win that football game.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Lions, who were undefeated.
The backslap.
The backslap. And then they beat the New York Giants. Kendall Hunter had another big run and a great regular season game at Candlestick Park. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're back. We're back. And then they win a division against Seattle on Christmas Eve. The Skittles game, shout out to Larry Grant, who's back at City College in San Francisco. Coach Nuno Company about to turn that program around and get them rolling again. That's what it takes. And even in 2021, we started to try to lock in, but Giants fans really to believe because they didn't feel like they had the staying power.
No,
they didn't have the
agree with you.
sustainability.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the stars. That was the thing with Harbaugh. He came in, you still had Patrick Willis, you had Bowman, you had Staley, you had
Bowman
Gore.
was new on the scene because he hadn't played much the year prior. They had Takeo Spikes, but Frank Gore and Vernon Davis and those guys, and then just all of the frustrations of the Alex Smith era prior. Right. I think it was all those things converging at once.
But you had big-time characters.
No doubt.
Big-time characters.
But I think Shanahan had the same kind of thing where there was so much apathy for so long, and then 2019 happened, and it came out kind of out of nowhere, and the fan base just jumped on it. So anyway, I'm looking at the Giants right now, and I'm just saying, like, all these people that are like, you can't be angry. Be happy fans are angry. Because you know what the alternative is? Apathy for a lot of people. And I'm not saying everyone. There will always be a diehard contingent. The Warriors fans always had a diehard contingent. Every team. There are, whoever you think has the least amount of fans, if you think it's the Oakland A's currently because of the way they've turned their fan base around, there is somewhere a contingent of diehard, loyal fans. You know, we joke about the Orlando Magic. I am sure there is a contingent of diehard Orlando Magic fans. But at the same time, the casuals is what's going to elevate your product and make it mainstream. And so I think about, like, the Giants' anger. Be happy the Giants fans are angry because that tells me they're tapped in.
That's what I don't get. When people get mad at people for being mad about the team, I don't get that energy. I just don't get it. I don't get it when we shame people for being mad about something. And you know, it's just hilarious to me because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing.
Exactly.
We want the Giants to win. We want them to win. And, you know, we got into it on Twitter yesterday with some clowns and, you know, we gave them their time of day. We gave them their 5 seconds of fame, and that's that. I won't go down that rabbit hole again this season with Giants fans. Not the negative Giants fans, that is, because of some of the things that have happened. But I just... Why are you mad at us for being mad at the team not being successful? We want them to be successful. We want to love our team. We want to be, like, when those marquee games happen against the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers, we want to be able to puff our chest up and say, yeah, we took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. Yeah, we took 3 or 4 from the Dodgers. Yeah, we're back. Like, we want to brag about that stuff. So we're not fair-weather fans. We still watch every single game, whether the team is 62-100 or 162. If the Niners are 3-14 or 14-3, we're still watching. Hell, we're watching the Warriors game. We knew this past season, boy, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs. They shot themselves in the foot, lost a lot of close games. Their home record, what the hell is going on here? Still watching. I'm still watching the playoffs and trying to figure out how the Warriors can be better. How can it get to this point that the Celtics and Mavericks are at right now? Feels so far away, but I don't get why fans get mad at other fans for being mad about the team not having success. It's so strange to me.
Well, your point about, like, everybody wants the team to win, absolutely. The other part is, and this is the dirty little secret, so does the media. The media wants to cover good teams.
Yep.
They don't want to cover bad teams. Ask anybody who's in it. Like, that doesn't mean that everybody's rooting for the team. they do want some success because it makes it more compelling for everyone. When teams are doing well, fans are engaged, they're clicking on more articles, they're reading more things, they're viewing more content. It's just it's good for business across the board. I will forever admit, like out loud, like whatever sport it is, whoever is covering that team, deep down inside, that individual covering that team realizes, boy, it's a hell of a lot more compelling when the team is good.
Oh, so there's a longtime writer. The name is slipping me. He's a beat writer with Minnesota. He wrote some great stories this playoff series. He's been covering the Timberwolves for like 19 years.
Minnesota!
They hadn't won a playoff series since Kevin Garnett was there before this season. And he's been on that beat. And he tweeted out at the end of the season, you know, I want to thank the T-Wolves fans. This has been the most fun ride I've ever been on. He got to cover the Western Conference Finals. Think about all the Warrior beat writers who didn't have play. Bob Fitzgerald called the games, for example. Not calling a playoff game. Tim Roy not calling a playoff game from basically 94 to 07. So you think about that.
So when you think when you say that, what I think of, I'll never forget. It's etched in my head. I'm at the LaRocca household, and it's Kruk and Kipe on the radio, synced because we didn't want to listen to Joe Buck in the Fox game. 2002, Kenny Lofton up the middle. We're going to the World Series, and it's Kruk and Kipe celebrating all the years of coming up short, and they're finally going to the World Series. And it felt like we, as a fan base, listening to Kruk and Kipe on you know, because it's always ahead of the television or whatever. Like, we're going to the World Series. So, like, to your point, like, it does feel like that.
It feels so, you know, I just, the whole vitriol about the Giants thing, and I'm not, look, I'm happy they won yesterday. I want to see them turn around. They're still 3 games under 500. I get it. They're a game back in the third wild card. If we want to hang our hat on that, fine. If we want to hang our hat and say, hey, you never know, Arizona did it, so we can do it too. Great. That's fine. I don't operate like that per se, but I'm not going to fan shame anybody who does operate like that. I'm done with that. I probably should.